Well, hello there, good morning, and welcome back to the Thai Expat Daily Show. I'm your host, Kieran Mack, yet again, and delighted you've been able to tune in with us for today's daily show. Now, before we do get started, like, subscribe, and share if you're watching us on YouTube. If you fancy listening to a podcast player, which I've noticed a lot more people have subscribed to recently, there's a link down below in the description where you can see all the available podcast players. And finally, if you'd like to support the show, if you get some value from the show, if you want to buy me a coffee, you can do so through the link down below in the description for buymeacoffee.com. And yet again, thank you folks for the people who bought me a coffee yesterday. Greatly appreciated. But now that that's all done and dusted, let's jump into the top 4 stories doing the rounds in Thailand. And we'll start off with what everybody's been talking about the last couple of days here in Thailand. The election. The Move Forward Party are confident of a majority with 6-party coalition. Move Forward Party leader Pita Limjaroenrat is confident that a majority government comprised of at least 6 parties on the Liberal wing will be formed. He spoke to the media after emerging from a 2-hour discussion with key party members at a party's head office today. After the meeting, Pita led party members to the meeting representatives of the other 5 potential coalition partners, namely the Pheu Thai Party, Thai Sang Thai, Fair Party, Pracharat and Thai Liberal parties at a restaurant on Sukhothai Road in Bangkok's Dusak district to discuss the formation of a coalition government. A press conference update on the discussion is scheduled for today, said Chaithawat. Meanwhile, the leader of the Palang Sangkhong Mai party told the media today that he has been approached by a deputy leader of the Move Forward Party to join the coalition and he accepted the offer. Palang Sangkhong Mai only won 1 party list seat in the general election. The inclusion of Palang Sangkhong Mai will increase the number of potential parties in a coalition to 6, which will command 311 votes in the 500-member lower house. The numbers are more than enough to form a government, but still fall short of the 376 votes needed to ensure the approval of Pita as the next Prime Minister at a joint sitting of the Senate and the House. Now, Rangsinam Rome, spokesman of the Move Forward Party, told the media today that what the party is doing now is switching off Section 272 of the Constitution, which essentially asserts the Senate's power in the appointment of the Thai Prime Minister by requiring a nominee to receive the approval of more than half of the votes of the 2 houses combined. The party list MP-elect said that the potential coalition, led by Move Forward, now has more than 310 votes in the House, which will make the government politically stable and able to implement the policies announced during the election campaign. The big question being asked now is why the voice of the people would not be respected, said Rangsiman, as the potential Liberal coalition can muster more than 310 votes in the House. The Move Forward Party spokesman maintains that forming a government and effectively negating the need for sizable Senate support are 2 separate issues, noting that Section 272 should not have been included in the Constitution in the first place. He said that the party has, however, got people in contact with some senators in an attempt to persuade them to lend the support to Pita as Prime Minister, but he declined to name who they are. He also said that the Move Forward Party and his leader are ready to be examined by the Senate over what some may see as controversial issues, such as this policy to amend the Lèse Majesté law and Pita's share ownership in the ITV broadcasting company. A little more positive today, but there is a lot of these military junta senators coming out and saying they will not support this guy under any circumstances because he wants to get rid of the 112 Lèse Majesté law, which is not what he wants to do. He wants to amend it and change it for the better for the country. So that's completely up to him, and he seems to have a mandate, certainly from, an awful lot of people here in the country. Now, I've also read, and just recently, that the Democratic Party are looking to maybe lend their support to Pita for the Senate vote, which would mean he'd have another 24 votes for the prime ministerial voting, which will go on in the end of August. So he may not need a huge amount more from the Senate. I think what they're trying to do here is muster up enough votes so that they'll make sure that these junta senators really have no power anymore. And just so people know, this will be the last time they're going to be allowed to vote on a prime minister, which is a very, very good thing. From the comments that they've been making over the last day or two, you can see exactly why they have been installed. It's to make sure that people like Pita from the Move Forward Party do not become prime minister because they simply do not want change to the status quo. And that unfortunately is and has been the reason for many coups here in this country over many years, is because the establishment don't want it. They want want just to keep it exactly the way it is. They don't want people thinking for themselves. They don't want people to think that they could have a better future, and that is the truth. But I think Thai people are waking up now. They've had enough, and they are voting, and they voted for change. And I do hope that what they voted for, they get, because every Thai person who voted for this change, and the majority that want it, certainly need to be listened to. And I do hope it comes to them. Now, moving along, operators express hope post-election. Chiang Mai and Phuket tourism operators hope the new government, led by the Move Forward Party, can solve PM 2.5 dust crisis, work to decentralise power and allocate budget for regional development and restoring tourism competitiveness. The board advisor to the Thai Hotels Association said the election result reaffirms that Chiang Mai desires change. She said the province didn't gain as many benefits as it should have from the government over the past 8 years, particularly regarding air pollution, as for long stretches Chiang Mai ranked as the worst in the world. In addition, there was a delay in COVID-19 vaccine allotments, with Chiang Mai among the last to receive them despite being one of the major provinces in Thailand, Ms. La Iat said. She said that the MFT expressed a clear outline to sort out the smog problem. She hopes the issue will see cooperation from the entire ecosystem to fix the root cause, not merely dealing with the consequences by spraying artificial rain or arresting farmers who practice slash and burn methods. Ms. Layed said the new government should negotiate with neighbouring countries on a national scale and set annual targets with key performance indicators for related authorities. If the air pollution subsidies, it will eventually help the national economy, tourism industry and the quality of people's lives, she said. In addition, a policy to decentralise government, including provincial governor elections, means the province can allocate budget for public projects that are truly in demand, such as public buses with quality services, which Chiang Mai still doesn't have, said Ms. Layed. She said the proposal for public electric buses in every province would benefit tourism and help the environment. Two of the parties forming a coalition government have called for raising the minimum wage, which Mrs. Layed said would affect operators' expenses somewhat, as room rates in Chiang Mai are lower than in Phuket and Bangkok. However, if a higher minimum wage can help the majority of society, tourism operators are ready to comply with a new rule, she said. The government should evaluate the outcome of wage hikes to ensure employers are not bearing too heavy a cost burden without state assistance, she said. Now, Tanet Tanapaki, president of the Phuket Tourist Association, said increasing flight capacity in Phuket to the same level as 2019 should be the first priority for the new government, both in terms of inbound flights and domestic routes connecting major cities. He said the government should also push Thai Airways International to be more robust, flying to more destinations by using Phuket as a regional hub. Mr. Tanet hopes the government will promote Phuket as the host for Specialized Expo 2028, with the final vote scheduled for next month. He said the project would improve Thailand's tourism image and attract tourism in the meeting and exhibitions as well as wellness segments. So a lot of people hoping for change from this new government. As you can see, there is a lot of hope in the country right now, and I do hope that these parties, especially the Move Forward Party and Pheu Thai, who's been given a real mandate by the people, that they respect this and they start to change Thailand for the better. Now, moving along. And a funny enough story. Tourist found trapped down a Pattaya drain. An American tourist was found trapped in a stormwater drain in Pattaya on Tuesday night after a passerby heard him calling for help. Rescuers of the Sawang Barabun Emergency Centre were called to the mouth of Soi Tepraset 8 in Mu 11 of Tambon Nong Pru, Banglamong district at 7:30 p.m. They were directed to a nearby drain on the side of the road. When they looked through the metal grid over the hole, they saw a man about 1.5 metres below, trapped in the 60-centimetre sewer pipe. They opened the grid and lifted him back to the surface. Shali Bunsri, 26, a security guard, told police that he had arrived at the spot on his motorcycle to buy a soft drink from a shop, and he heard a man yelling, apparently calling out for help. He looked around but saw no one. Then he looked down through the grill over the nearby drain and saw a man in the murk below. Pattaya Tourist Police soon arrived at the scene. The trapped man was identified as Jonathan Vaimona, 36, an American who arrived in Thailand with his girlfriend on May 12th. They stayed at a condominium on Tap Praya Road, about 2 kilometers away. Mr. Valanova appeared exhausted by his ordeal. He was wearing only a pair of pants, his body covered with sludge. Asked how he became stuck in the sewer pipe, his answer was confusing. It was not yet clear what had happened. So that is the funniest story I've heard quite a while now. It seems like he has no idea how he got down there, which I am completely confused by too. Now I wonder, was he drunk? Was he high? Who knows? But it's the strangest place to be stuck. Now I read in another article he was down there for 7 or 8 hours, trudging around, and nobody found him. It's a very, very strange story. And I do hope there will be an update to this tomorrow, because I haven't read anything like this in a long time. It just shows you, the things that foreigners get up to. I have never heard of a Thai person getting stuck down below in a drain in Pattaya before, but don't worry, it'd always take a foreigner to do it. It must be a first in Pattaya, or at least one that was found alive. And finally, 30 injured in tour speedboat accident. Some 30 tourists were injured when a tour speedboat slammed into a safe channel marker in Shillong Bay late yesterday afternoon. 2 of the people suffered serious injuries and 8 more suffered code yellow injuries, reported Phuket Info Centre. The injured were taken to separate hospitals, namely Shillong Hospital, Vashira Hospital, Phuket Provincial Hospital, Bangkok Hospital, Phuket, Bangkok Hospital, Siri Road, Dibuk and Mission Hospital, Phuket. What a list of hospitals. Phuket Info Centre urged motorists to facilitate rescue vehicles transporting the injured. The boat was bringing tourists back from Phi Phi Island to Shillong Pier when it struck the safe channel marker, located some 700 metres from Shillong Pier, reported the Phuket Provincial Administration. Photos posted online identified the boat as Tanatip Marine 555. The PPAO president, Riwat Arirab, was present when the injured persons were brought ashore at Shillong Pier, which the PPAO is responsible for operating. There were 36 people on board when the accident happened. 3 were captain and crew. The remainder were Russian tourists, the PPAO reported. Of note, the PPAO reported 6 people seriously were injured. And there's no more details exactly how this happened. The picture is pretty damning. It looks like he rammed straight into it. Were they paying attention? Were they focused on what they were meant to be doing? It is very, very unclear. And again, I hope we have an update on this for you tomorrow morning in the next show. But that's it for today. They were the stories doing the rounds here in Thailand. Delighted you were able to tune in for today's show. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Stay safe and have a great day. But ultimately, with this story or anything else that stood out to you today, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Because yes, this is a news show, but it's also a conversation. Now keep that conversation going. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and do all the good stuff that does help that YouTube algorithm. But ultimately, my name is Kieran Mack. You've been listening to the Thai Expat Daily Show, and we will see you next time.